wound up reading online this promotion about me being part of the ESP Hall of Fame. I've been involved with the company nearly 30 years actually, and they are celebrating their 40th anniversary currently. We got called up the head of the promotions department. I'm going, thank you Chris, this is very awesome of you. By the way, is there anybody else in the Hall of Fame for ESP? And he had to admit to me, no, we just came up with that, but we thought it would be great to start with you. So I'm actually honored. Not only am I part of the ESP Hall of Fame, I'm the first one to be part of the ESP Hall of Fame. They'll probably be able to get George in there, and the guy from Queensryche, and the people from Metallica. And you think about it, because the history of the company is long and fruitful, so I'm very flattered about it. Well, I just came back from Australia, down under. Wow. It's really a fascinating country, and the people there love rock and roll. They're crazy for Kiss. I'm a legend mate. Oh my God, they're just like so into rock and roll. And we did some unique things then. We actually did the first Kiss convention in Australia. And besides the fact that we had, a really healthy show, kind of similar to a Live 3, I had a lot of material to draw from, and I played with some friends of mine. I played with some young talent there that helped support me, and it was a Kiss Expo, and there was master classes similar to what I'm going to be doing for ESP actually tonight. But whenever I go down there, I really do enjoy it. Like I said, the fans are incredible, and they definitely enjoy rock and roll. So I highly recommend everybody go visit. They don't say shrimp on the barbie, really, though. I'm just telling you.
Are you going to play any Kiss songs tonight?
I will be playing some Kiss songs tonight. People know me from Kiss, though I plan on doing a few things from my solo career too, which has been all these years since. Even though, I don't disappoint anybody when I go out and perform live, I'd be sure to be playing, Kiss songs, especially my era, because it seems like as much as, they've carried on and they do amazing, and as their light grows and they keep conquering new things all the time, it shines on me anyway. But I know that my era they don't concentrate as much on as some of the makeup era, So it's always a real treat for the fans when they hear stuff from Asylum and Crazy Nights. Kiss is one of those bands that the whole world knows, and usually people that aren't really a fan will only think of makeup as Kiss, because that's what, of course, made them famous, and they've been back in that for so many years. But a real fan knows there's a whole wealth of material and over a decade of years that are non-makeup, which is, I kind of wave the flag for all of that. Like you, for example, didn't know there was a makeup Kiss, and there wouldn't have been a version for me to join if it wasn't for the makeup Kiss. But the truth is, when I was in the band, we kept it going. We had hits, we had gold, platinum records, toured the world, arenas, the whole thing. But I find even with them continuing, and they turn on new generations of fans, right? So they, like, for instance, they were in Japan not that long ago, and now they're going to South America. Now I'm seeing a lot of people following me on Twitter and Facebook on South America again. In Japan, I picked up all these fans that started following me because they went to Japan. And they did something really smart in Japan, where they kind of like were doing gigs with a very popular pop group of little Japanese women. And that was really interesting, even though it looks a little odd, but it exposed Kiss and what Kiss represents and everything about Kiss and the music and the vibe of Kiss to a whole nother generation. But I noticed I'm getting all these tweets from fans over there that, it's written in, the Japanese letters. I don't know what it is. And I'm going, well, why would a 15-year-old know about me? But again, it's because they're out there. So Kiss is one of those bands that you just keep sharing. The same way, I'm sure now AC/DC's coming out with a new record and everything, and they're going to be touring, so there'll be new 15-year-olds that will go, oh my God, AC/DC, this is amazing. And that's what's great about the kind of music that I grew up with and that I helped shape also during my years. The Beatles is still relevant, The Who, the 50th anniversary. And
what about you? What do you have in plans right now?
I do tour. I've been with Grand Funk Railroad now for 15 years. Okay, and Grand Funk, another band that should be in the Hall of Fame. Actually, who knows what will ever happen? But we don't play. We don't go on the road like for 6 months. We do these weekend fly dates. My last solo record, which came out 5 years ago, is available on vinyl, which I haven't offered it for sale in America yet. Although I have them here for the event, because I do physically have it. In a couple of weeks, they'll go up on my website. I did sell a limited number in Australia, and everybody was talking about it. We're going to get one every day now. I'm getting emails. I know you have vinyl. Where is it? I want it. And they don't see how they can buy it, but I'm going to have it up soon on the website. And there's another thing that I am working on that will come out as a CD. That's really interesting. It's a band that I had when I was young. It was 40 years ago. There was a couple of young guys in my neighborhood in Queens, and we didn't even have a name, but we recorded some very progressive Cream meets Yes kind of music. Very, very, very cool. And when I found the tape years ago, I did a limited run of them, and they sold out quickly. So KKB is the initials of the guys in the band. Obviously, I'm one of the Ks. Okay. And it's called Got to Get Back, and that's the new title of the new song, which I think is kind of clever to the fact that we're putting out something that's really 40 years old except for the one song. So I'm real excited about that. I'm thinking by May that will be ready. I just finalized the mixes and working on the artwork now for that. Well, when I think of my career, obviously the first thing that comes to mind in the resume is that body of work with Kiss, because 12 years is big, and that band everybody knows, But a lot of people aren't aware, that I got to do some other really incredible things, like perform with Meatloaf during the Bat Out of Hell tour. The original record, there's 2 live tracks on there, which is actually my brother and I on lead guitar. I was even in a band. There was a guy that just came over to me next door. And he goes like, "I saw you in '81." I said, "Was that the Good Rats?" And I said, and they were just popular in the tri-state area of New York. In fact, we were on a bill once with Motorhead and with Ozzy, with Randy Rhoads on guitar back in like '81 or '82. So, Billy Squier was cool, of course, though I didn't get to tour with him. But then Michael Bolton, which is really unusual. I had a band with him called Blackjack. He's thinking about dabbling in something rock or blues, and would like to have me involved, which would be great. Well, if it wasn't for Michael and Paul getting together, Forever wouldn't have been created, and that had such a fond solo for me on the acoustic guitar, which is great. The band Union I'm very proud of too, the one with John Corabi. All the guys have been busy, although we haven't done anything since 2000. But it's a good band. We did a couple of really strong records. So there's always stuff to do, and my solo records I'm proud of. But again, if you're going to look at one big thing, it's always the Kiss thing, which is fine with me. I celebrate it. I don't see it as a distraction at all.
How many LA Kiss games are you going to go to this season?
Oh, I don't know. I was at the game opener for season 1. It was fun.
Right.
But look, I think it's really shall I use? I guess the word ambitious is kind of small for Gene and Paul. They're extremely ambitious. There has to be a new word for it, okay? I go to LAX and I'm at the Delta, terminal, and there's the Rockin' Brews, you know what I mean, with Gene and Paul. It just trips me out. Every time I fly, I can't go anywhere without something Kiss, just like this fine store we're in, plenty of Kiss stuff. And she makes awesome jewelry. Check
Yes,
that out.
yes.